What's up, everybody? Welcome to my Cowboys family. Here for a Week 3 preview and a little bit of a Week 2 recap on our Dallas Cowboys 2025 season so far. Let me lower this just a little bit. Again, we're using a backup computer. The main one's out of commission for now. The wife, who had an early day today, cannot make this one, but we are doing a Fan Friday. So welcome in, everybody, as you come in. And don't forget to hit the like button for the stream. Hit subscribe to the channel. If you watch this in a replay, same thing. Hit the bell, the notification bell to all videos, so you know when we're going live or dropping videos, or even a video short, which we do a lot here on my Cowboys family. So hey, welcome in, everybody. Have a seat. We're going to talk some Cowboy football. A couple things from the last game and a bunch of things from this upcoming Week 3 Chicago Bears preview, which is right ahead of us. The next thing up in line. So as you can see, the final play of the game against the Giants and the big overtime victory by the Cowboys with Brandon Aubrey kicking the game winner at the buzzer, the walk-off win. You're seeing the preview. You see always clowning on Jerry Jones. That's the way I do it here. And, of course, a new player that we signed literally right after the game. I told you guys he'd probably be signed in a few days at the latest. He was signed literally after the game, Clowney. We'll talk about all that and more. But first, shout out to everybody in the house representing it here with us. As you see, Week 3 about to come up over here, right above the Cowboys-Bears upcoming game. Sponsor of the quarter, the one and only John Luna. Much love to him. In memory of his great friend Charlie. Guys, check out the information we have on him and drop a little love over there to help out the situation there with Charlie, who passed away last year. So again, appreciate him, Mr. John Luna, the man. And you can see him with 99 points on the stream, boss. He's basically fully loaded, right? Shout outs to him there. He's also the gifting champion. He's not just the sponsor of the quarter, but the gifting champion of the quarter. So he's taken over 3 out of the 4 spots. The only one left is the man from Detroit. Yeah, Motor City Maniac. He was our Cash App king. You'll see what I mean in a minute when I say Cash App. But you also have the leaders this month. This is going to become a monthly thing for the football season. During the off season, it'll be quarterly, but for the football season, it'll be monthly. And for this month right now, John Luna is once again in the lead for first place on the overall board. If he wins, he will be again added into the raffle. He just won the jersey. Congrats to him, by the way, on the big jersey raffle we had here. Now we have him as the leader there. But we have Skeptical Fan leading on the gifting side. So shout out to him when it comes to gifting membership. He's up by 2 over John Luna, 7-5. And AOD. Yeah, AOD is third place with 1 on there. So shout outs to everybody on that board as well. And as you can tell there, Motor City may be the champion, the king, but may have a queen in line. Pat Pfeiffer is the leader currently. And she jumped a little bit after the last one. I know Daniel Berry's right behind her. So not far. Daniel Berry's there, and Motor City's there as well. So, yeah, it's a 3-person race. And I say Cash App king or queen. It comes down to this. Other ways, look, there's a super chat, of course. There's, what's up, Kenzie Band's in the house, Team Money in the house. Many others who dropped in here a little earlier. There you see Jamal Burton, old school man. Much love. Oh, in Alaska, last I remember. Shout-outs to him, Jesse, Team Money. Skeptical Fan, staying skeptical. I got to fix that, by the way. I think I will be able to get you the Bears one for this game. So if you're in the membership, the intro membership level, you will get all those all those emojis plus the Bears one, which is on the way. It'll be ready for the game on Sunday. So shout outs to everybody. Welcome in. And I do want to say there's the super chat way of helping out the channel. Dropping the love that way and helping it out. But again, you can hit that goal. And if we all hit that goal, if we get to 20 hits on the goal before the night is done, it says 2 hours. The stream should be over before then. But if we get $25 or more in the super chat, everybody in there will be put into the raffle to get into the, you'll see soon, this month's jersey raffle, the month of September. So shout outs to everybody who's hit that so far. We already did it. We already got it in, I think, once for this upcoming one in September. We hit it, I think, the second half of this game against the Giants, which we won there. And congrats, and a big congrats to John Luna for making that happen. I think we have like 5 or 6. Let me see, how many people did we get in there? We hit about 10 or 12 people, I think, in the raffle, automatically in the jersey raffle. You'll see what I mean. But this one tonight is if we all hit it, they get into we get pick 4 names, and those names go into this jersey raffle. So that's what you're playing. That's kind of what we're hitting there if you do drop the love through the super chat. There's also the thanks button. There's memberships you can jump into enjoy. And by the way, shouting out from our last stream, those that did jump in the membership, Alanda Hanslu back in it, Tony Wimbish back in it, the Navy Blue crew, and of course in the silver level, top Bay bullies there, Dwayne Broussard, much love to him. Appreciate everybody in the membership from Navy Blue, Silver Star, and Over Everything. No Over Everything right now, and we always shout out to Star Level, but Fan Friday, there's always a special shout out there. And again, I do specify it is special to be in the Star Level. You get 1 entry in this jersey raffle. Over Everything, you get 2 entries, and of course, the other perk, big perk there, is you get to be on the show with us, and we get to discuss our Cowboys for a full show. So quarterly winners, or in this case now, maybe monthly winners, get the bonus entry. So those that win for that month automatically also get a bonus entry there. And so anybody at Star Level, Over Everything, quarterly bonus, whatever. And like I said, we had John Luna doing a special kind of hitting the goal in one bullet in one shot. And it made everybody else anybody who hit the bullseye after that would get into the raffle. So we have about 12 people in there for that. So it's going to be interesting. And remember, it's monthly, not quarterly anymore. So it will be in 4 weeks rather than 12 weeks, right? So it should be about the same percentage when it comes to chance to win this thing. I see snipers in the house. I got Jamal Burton, of course, in here clapping it up. What's up? Much love to the man Jamal Burton. It's been a while. We're so happy to see you back, and I hope you're doing well. That's the raffle we do at the end of the month. Technically, end of September, right? It'll be the beginning of October. We do this raffle, so we'll see what happens. And again, anybody who gets into tonight, if we do hit the goal, you'll be at least right now. Unless John Luna does one of his things again, then everybody who drops it then would get in. But right now, anybody who gets in if we get the goal and we hit the raffle goal, the goal here on the 20, if we hit 20 of those, everybody will be entered into a raffle to get into this monthly raffle during football season, yes. So anyway, I think you guys got it. Also, like I said, we shout everybody out. Today is Fan Friday, so I shout out Top Bait Bully, Dog Bullies right there. The man Dwayne Broussard. We got the Q man Justin Quarles, and the man who's been here the longest than anybody else in any membership level, A. Lavelle. Yes, much love to you guys. And of course, no over everything, but there is that Star Level membership. Shout outs to Mary Alvarez, who's a new member there from our last stream. Much love to Mary Alvarez and that Star Level. Shout outs to Aussie. Shout outs to John Luna. Of course, the man John Luna. And Skeptical Fan in there as well, jumping in there. So thank you all. Again, for this upcoming month, for this September month, you will have, for the we do in October, that Star Level bonus raffle entry. So shout outs on that side. Now, as I continue this thing going, we got the intros out the way. We did the shout outs and everything. You know how to drop the love. Again, and I said the Cash App, the Cash App ways to drop. It's kind of the after dark ways of dropping the love here. As you can see, Motor Seat repping it. But yeah, basically, guys, if you did want to, wrong one there. If you did want to drop it like it's hot through the Cash App, you see it there, the Venmo, PayPal, the message on screen through Streamlabs. I think there's a Venmo in there somewhere as well. It's in the description as well. So check it out if you haven't yet. Yeah, I know. T-Money, Micah's jersey was on there. That was done earlier. I got to switch it. I got to put a different jersey on there, right, T-Money? So anyways, there's different ways you can drop the love on that side as well, which is the outside of YouTube way. Hey, look how young we are there. That's like 10 years ago when we started this channel. My little girl's in college. I can't believe it. So anyways, and we're here. As you can, like I said, wife is here in spirit. I'm here in person. Shout out to everybody hitting the like, sniper. Yeah, we're going to talk about everything here in a minute. But first, let me shout you guys out one last time in the house. Jamal Burton making it in. Much love to you. Team Money, Jesse of Merle. Kenzie Band, Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical. Quan 6. Blue Raptor. Again, I don't understand why Junior Coltrane. You should not be blocked. I double checked it. So you should not be blocked on here, but I don't know why. There's Blue Raptor. I see you. Anyways, go Cowboys. And let's keep it rolling. I'll shout everybody out as we continue this thing. But in the meantime, let's start off with, again, I could talk about Young Wei Koo, as I joke, Young Ho Koo. But from the Falcons, he got released as a kicker. Just a big deal because, we won this last game on the leg of Brandon Aubrey. You know what I mean. But listen, before we get to Brandon Aubrey and this Giants victory, again, I'm not like proud that we beat the Giants. I'm glad we won, but I'm not like, well, yeah, we're great. Some people are saying, we're so awesome, we beat the Giants. We beat them by 3 in overtime, a shitty team like the Giants. Good quarterback, veteran, old, but still, Russell Wilson, Malik Neighbors, we couldn't cover anything. So I'll explain the defensive side of breakdowns as well. But first, let's bring up the quarterback, Dak Prescott. Because Troy Aikman spoke about Dak Prescott on DFW, the ticket. And he said, quote, I've been impressed with Dak this year. Certainly week 1 and what he was able to do. And then this last game against the Giants, he's always had good energy. He's always had good body language and all that on the field. But in addition to on how well he's played, I just sense that there's a confidence about him in the way in which he's playing. I don't want to say I haven't seen before, but I just feel like he's really dialed in and feeling good about where this offense is going and the way that it's playing and the way that he's playing. And usually to have that, you feel really good about the plays that are coming in and who's calling them. It just seems to be a pretty good fit right now for Dak. And from what I've seen, just as a casual observer, I do love Dak. There's nothing I'd rather see than seeing Dak win the Super Bowl and win multiple Super Bowls and win more than me and Roger and all of us combined if possible, because he's that type of guy and he represents himself and the organization and our city so well. End quote. So anyway, listen, I usually don't read quotes like that from people, except for people like Troy Aikman who have that fire, who feel it in their belly sometimes about the way a team. He's very critical of the Cowboys because he wants perfection from the Cowboys. So I understand it, and that's why I read it. And there's something there. And what I'm hearing, now hear me through on this, guys. I think that maybe Aikman is seeing that year that Romo hit that focal point where he really dialed in and really was like he saw the field differently. He's spoken about that, Tony Romo. It happened like his 8th, 9th, or 10th year. This is what, Dak's 10th year, is it? 9th year, 10th year, I think. So my point is that this could be the point where now he's to the point where he's hit that level now that, okay, now I can see the field, the parts, the moving parts and pieces better. Quarterbacks usually have that happen at a certain point in their career. They could be great when they're young, but they get greater as they get into their 8th, 9th, and 10th years of their career. So could this be what Aikman's kind of referring to? Because that's what he said. I've seen it. I don't want to say I've seen this before, but when players kind of dial in like this, they've kind of reached a new level in focusing on the actual learning of the game. So I think that's what he was kind of alluding to, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. What are some of you guys thinking? And again, it's just the first thing about Dak, because I do have, when you talk about Dak and, what he did in this game against the Giants, he led a 4-play, 42-yard game-winning drive that, again, ended with Brandon Aubrey's 46-yard field goal to win the game 40-37. It was Dak Prescott's 24th game-winning drive of his career, tied with Tony Romo for the most in franchise history. On top of that, when you look at the most consecutive wins by a starting quarterback versus a certain opponent, the Giants in this case, Bob Greasy beat the Bills 17 times. That's number 1. Number 2, Dak Prescott. 2017 till now. Cowboys have never lost to the New York Giants at home or away when Dak Prescott was the starting quarterback. We've lost when Cooper Rush was the quarterback or other guys. We've never lost when Dak Prescott was the quarterback. Not to the Giants since 2017 and beyond. We've won every game since then. That's 14 games in a row, 7 straight years. Again, if we do it for 2 more years with Dak and he wins 4 more games against the Giants, he'll be the longest streak in history, beating Bob Greasy and the Buffalo Bills, 17 straight wins he had against them. Tom Brady had third, and Steve Young are tied for third with 13 apiece. Mahomes has 12 against the Broncos, but that streak is ended. There's no present streak going on. And then there's also Troy Aikman, of course, 90-96. He had the Cardinals, 12 straight wins against the Cardinals. I remember my brother was pissed in those days. So, I wanted to make sure I brought that up when we were talking about Dak Prescott. Just a little quickie in there about him. Now, hold on. I just want to make sure here. Let me see. Okay, so this is probably why. See, okay, so, yeah, I'm going to time you out, bro, for a minute here. And there's a reason. This is not After Dark, Blue Raptor, all right? You're timed out because you're harassing here. We don't do not this channel. We can fuck around the other channel, but this channel is football only. If you're gonna talk football, cool. If you want to bullshit and talk shit about football, that's fine. If you're gonna talk shit about people, then no, you're not allowed. Sorry, buddy, you're done. So that's all. Anyways, so let's get back to the discussion here. So we have Dak Prescott. I thought he's been playing great so far this year. He's had some. He could have been playing better. I'm gonna be honest, but I do think that Dak looks a little more confident than usual. Let's put it that way. Jamal Burton said Dak for MVP. Not yet, Jamal. I would wait with that. T-Money said I'm disappointed in the defense. T-Money said Dak can't get sacked Prescott. I remember that play, right? He got out there and won, and it got out of there. T-Money said Troy knows what he's saying. Yep, 10th year. Tony A said, what's up? Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing? Let's go Cowboys. Oh, we're not going to lose as Dak under centers. Definitely against the Giants, we don't lose to them. Dak broke Brady's record. You can say that. So yeah, Dak's been great, phenomenal. Let's keep it rolling. So that's the passing game. I know Jaden blew yet, but we have had a lot of player named Javonte Williams who's playing number 33, been playing great. I always liked him. A couple years ago, I talked about maybe actually last year, I said the Cowboys should try to pick him up in a trade since they had 3 or 4 running backs and he'd be good and cheap, but he came off the injury. They just didn't have enough time or place, to play him, I thought, and they didn't. And so they cut him. They didn't re-sign him at least this year. So the Cowboys picked him up, and he's been fantastic as a starter for us, as the main ball carrier. He has 151 rushing yards so far in 2 games. That's 75.5 yards per game. That's not bad for a guy who's being used in kind of a two-way running back duo there. So again, he has also 3 touchdowns through these 2 games, and he said, quote, "It just feels good to be back out there running. I'm feeling like myself again. It's been a long journey, but I'm ready to go now. I'm just glad that they gave me another chance." And that is great to see Javonte Williams get that chance. Hopefully, knock on wood, he stays healthy. You know what I mean? Then we have CeeDee Lamb talking about the Cowboys running game. Some of you guys said we need to, run the ball on these guys. Javonte Williams would be a main guy. When it comes to the running game in the first 2 weeks and against the Giants after the game, CeeDee Lamb said, quote, "It's amazing they're going to have to stack the box on our offense." Meaning that, the Cowboys are running so well inside, they're going to have to bring in 8 guys or more in that linebacker, the defensive line area. So basically, CD said, quote, "And then once that they do that, there's only one safety up there. Then it's game on." Again, remember, CD on one side or in the slot, Pickens on the other side or next to him. I'm just saying, it is damaging when you have 2 weapons like that and go deep and one safety because they have to stack the box because of your running game. So that's how the running game can change your entire offense and make it a little bit, more expansive. Now, in this game, it wasn't just the offense, it was the defensive. There's a story there, and the story was unfortunate. Now, Trayvon Diggs got burned a bunch of times. Was it him? Was it the safety? Was it Donovan Wilson, who seemed to be the main guy? Trayvon Diggs summed it up by saying, quote, "We got a lot to clean up on defense, especially with our zone coverages. It's just being tighter in coverage, the communication piece. I feel like we had a lot of blown coverages. We just have to clean that up. A veteran like Russell Wilson is going to see the holes and everything. I feel like he took advantage of the opportunities he had, and I've got to be better. Everyone has to be better. I feel like we needed it. I'm glad that they were throwing the ball so that we can see how offenses want to attack us, especially with the coverages that we play. We got a lot of mixed coverages, so seeing that, we're going to be better next time. I feel like our confidence is still there. We got all the guys that we need. We got everyone that can make plays. We just got to clean up the little stuff. We did get the win, but for sure we are unsatisfied with the performance that we put out there, unsatisfied with my performance. And the whole defense as a whole, we're going to be back, and we're going to be good." Now, I hope he's right. A lot of people are doubting that. But I do think that there is something to say on this. I don't have the quote, but I'm going to paraphrase Matt Eberflus. If you guys, who the hell is that? You guys hopefully know by now. He's our defensive coordinator, right? So Matt Eberflus did say this this week after the game. He said that there was, again, kind of echoing a little bit what Trayvon said, but mainly the party echo was the communication side of things. The communication was bad, and it was off in this game against the Giants. So, again, it seems like communication being off meant that the safeties were not ready, corners were not ready, they were mixing coverages. Remember, the communication part, I think that I remember Eberflus talking about was that when an offense would audible or switch, shift or run a guy in motion to the other side of the field, the defense would get confused and they would not switch. So by doing that, that's the lack of communication. They at least are. I'm hopeful that they found this and they see this and they identify that now they can fix it going forward. This shit won't happen again. I hope. But one time was scary against a shitty team that has a veteran quarterback that can pick you apart when he sees the opening constantly there. So they didn't fix it this game. They got to fix it next game. So, and beyond. So Everflus is on you. That's our defensive coordinator. Got to play better. Got to do a better job defensive communication for the players. And he's got to do a better job in practice to make sure these defensive players can fucking know what's going on. Now, we talked about offense, talked about defense, even touching the coach there for a minute. Talked about a lot of different things. But let's talk about the thing that won the game in the end. That's Brandon Aubrey. I see him there with number 1. I know he's number 17. The wife knows it. MCW's gotten the 17 jersey. Broke it out for the first time ever the last game. And Brandon Aubrey kicked a 64-yarder and a 46-yarder. Boom, bang. It's funny. 64-46 switched the numbers. That's what the last 2 kicks he hit. Wins and sent us into overtime with 0 seconds. Won the game with 0 seconds. First time in history that's ever happened. And the first drop in history of today is by a Skeptical fan. Much love to him with a $2 holla kicking. Literally kicking things off. And John Luna goes to Osa. He went from what's his name? The injured player. Fuck, I forgot. It's Perion Winfrey. Number 99. He went from 99 to 97. John Luna, 97 points on the stream, boss. Much love to Mr. Skeptical fan. Thank you, sir. And we're going to talk some more Cowboys here. He's, I think, in third place still. Or no, second place. I'm sorry. Let me see. Yeah. There we go. So, Skeptical fan, the man. Staying skeptical. Thank you, sir. The $2 holler. Doesn't hit the goal, but it does get the credit on the top. So, thank you, sir. Now, we do have a serial killer. Or AKA kicker. Serial kicker. So, yeah, we got a serial kicker on our team right now. He is a killer, guys. Post-game. Again, remember, they spoke to him post-game after the big kicks he made. I mean, you might have seen some of the videos that we put up here on the short section. And you'll see the way that every single player came up to him was like, you're unbelievable, bro. So he's done some great stuff there by Aubrey. And remember, he was a former software engineer who took basically a kind of a joke from his wife to go and try out. And, hey, why don't you can kick the football. You can do that. And so he's like, yeah, you know what? I'll do it. He's a software engineer. Went to kick footballs. Again, they were watching the red zone. She was watching the red zone while and said, hey, well, you can do that. You could kick footballs. And he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll try it. Boom. Went to the USFL. Went to the Cowboys. And when you look at him again, he made that 64-yarder, as the regular time expired, to force overtime. That was, by the way, the second longest field goal of Aubrey's career. That was the 5th field goal that he's made of 60 or more yards in the final 5 seconds of a game since the year 2000. It's crazy, guys. Each of the previous 4 won the game that he kicked. This is the first kick since Minnesota's Greg Joseph in Week 16, 2022, also against the Giants. That was this long of a kick. Aubrey's 4th career kick made of 60 or more yards, tied with Cowboys' Brett Maher, the Maharati. So again, one more 60-yarder from Aubrey basically shatters every record ever made. So, and that's just a 60-yarder. He may kick a 67-yarder, and that would be the all-time record. He may will he ever hit a 70-yarder? Guys, I've showed you this before, and I'll show you one more time. Our schedule, look at that run right there. That's Sunday, October 26th in Denver. Mile High. The air is thinner. The ball travels 5 to 10 yards farther. A 75-yarder? Possibly. You never know. So we'll see what happens. But Brandon Aubrey himself said, quote, I just kept reminding myself that I'm made for this moment. I believe I'm the best kicker in the league, so there's no better spot to be in. It's an opportunity. So go have fun. And boom, he nailed that fucking 64-yarder and the winner, which was much easier. Dak said he thanked Aubrey when he was coming off the field. He said, quote, I think I even gave him a kiss on the forehead. He's a closer. We might need some music, his own special music to play as he takes the field, just like a closer, like a baseball closer, guys. He said he deserves that. We're thankful for that guy, for Brandon Aubrey. CeeDee Lamb said, that man is the GOAT. We understood that we just had to get to the star. Once you get to that star, everything else is on BA, a.k.a. Brandon Aubrey. Guys, Brandon Aubrey was named today the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. No surprise, no surprise, no surprise. Remember, guys, he was 4 for 4 in field goals, hit the game winner in overtime as time expired, hit a 64-yard, was his long of the day. He hit 4 for 4 in extra points for a total of 16 points that day there on Sunday against the Giants. So Brandon Aubrey more than deserves that special teams crown. And by the way, I mean, come on. Like, we didn't know that he was going to be the special teams MVP. We knew it. Anyways, great stuff there from Brandon Aubrey, of course, winning us, helping us basically secure and win that game. Skeptical in the house, right? Covering CD or Pickens would be suicide. I'll talk about that in a minute. Tony A in the house. Let the youngest plays get some snaps. We got to get the win first, right? We just can't assume it. By the way, let me hit that love right there. So, yeah. I can't, and I see here a couple comments. If you guys drop it, I can see it like skeptical fans a lot easier, especially me. But we'll see what happens. Halftime, I saw an adjustment in week 1 by Everfluss, not in week 2. Interesting there, right? And the linebackers against Wandell, inexcusable. Just a couple comments out there I touched on real quick. Let's keep it moving and grooving. The Cowboys did sign somebody. And again, when you talk about an extension for somebody, it may be Brandon Aubrey in the future. It's got to be because he's on his final year of his contract. So, hey, $5 million, $6 million, $7 million, whatever it costs. Whoever's the highest paid kicker, give him an extra $1 million. He deserves it, Brandon Aubrey. Let's go. But you see how fast the kicker's life can go. Young Hui Koo, one of the best kickers, all of a sudden injured. Not injured, but misses 1, misses 2. Now he's out of a job. It's crazy. Anyways, Cowboys, right after the game, after the Giants game, signed defensive edge rusher Jadeveon Clowney. You see him on my thumbnail there. Jerry Jones, after this wild win against the Giants, made the deal, hit the lever. In the interview, said, yes, we have, by the way, signed Jadeveon Clowney. He's in the books. So basically, just over 2 weeks after trading Micah Parsons to the Packers, the Cowboys signing 2014. Now it's a while ago, but that was the number 1 overall pick in that draft was Jadeveon Clowney. He is now part of the Cowboys defensive edge group. And again, he was signed to the practice squad, but that's exactly what I said would happen. He'll add some real depth, according to Jerry Jones. He's very credible, and he'll help us. Again, I look here and I see Clowney, who visited the Cowboys on last Wednesday, started 14 games for the Panthers last year. He had 5.5 sacks and 11 quarterback hits. He's 32 years old, obviously a little older. He's not making Pro Bowls now, but he did make Pro Bowls back in 2016, 2017, 2018. He spent some of his first 5 years with the Houston Texans. He bounced around the league, went to Seattle, Tennessee, Cleveland, the Ravens, and, of course, Carolina Panthers. Now he's in Dallas. He had one of his best statistical seasons 2 years ago with the Ravens. He started 15 of 17 games. He had a career-high 9.5 sacks. He had 19 quarterback hits, 9 tackles for loss. But part of the reason the Cowboys traded, Micah is because we felt good about Dante Fowler, about Sam Williams, Marshawn Nealon, rookie Donovan Escorazu. After these 2 games, Cowboys haven't done shit when it comes to going after the quarterback. And honestly, edge-wise, stopping the run, not great. So inside, Kenny Clark's been doing a great job. Outside, not so good. So Clowney's in there. He's a good edge stopper, a run stopper, and a very good pass rusher. So he will do the DeMarcus Lawrence. Think of DeMarcus Lawrence now, let's say. He's DeMarcus Lawrence, basically, for us right now. And I mean that, in DeMarcus Lawrence's worst years, that's where we're at. We got a good run stopper that can give us a couple pass rushes. Maybe better than DeMarcus Lawrence, honestly. Now, as far as the roster goes, the Cowboys have Jadeveon Clowney listed as number 96. Which is Frank Clark's first number, quickly switched to 95. 96 is open. Right now, Clowney is not taking 96. He's taking number 42. I know he had number 27, I think, with a couple teams ago. But he's, I think, with the Ravens. But now he's number 42 with the Cowboys on our updated depth chart. And that is, as you can see by the thumbnail cover, boom, he's number 42. That's him in practice. So Jadeveon Clowney, officially a Cowboy and all. But guess what happened, guys? Again, we're thinking, are we going to see him play against the Bears? He's looking the other way because he's not. And I'll tell you the first reason, because Stephen Jones today on 105.3 The Fan said that even though Jadeveon Clowney has a chance of playing on Sunday, quote, after practice and talking about it today, it's probably a final game time decision, but we're leaning towards him probably not playing this week. So the first 3 weeks of the season, we're not going to have a good pass rush. No Jadeveon Clowney this game. Keep that in mind. But something else happened that could have also swayed their opinion. Jadeveon Clowney was arrested in his hometown of Rock Hill, South Carolina, this past Friday for misdemeanor trespassing and failure to identify, according to police records. According to Jadeveon Clowney himself, he said that he was arrested parking at his aunt's house at a high school football game. He said he was detained not arrested, he was detained for no more than 20 minutes and then was back at the game before the second quarter was over. So, before the second quarter started. So it was a quick detainment. But still, he was frustrated by the entire matter. And again, the first time he said he's ever been arrested, especially in a situation like this. The type of stuff he said he's had to deal with his entire life growing up in his old town there. He plans to fight the case in court. So there you go, guys. A little Jadeveon Clowney update. His arrest. He's not missing the game because of the arrest. He's missing the game mostly because he's just too new to throw into the system right now. But next week against Green Bay, in Dallas against Micah, we'll see how that works out. Because I know he'll play next week for Micah, and they'll be on opposite sides of the field, of course. And they won't see each other like face to face. But we'll see how we do with the pass rush and Jadeveon Clowney for the first time next week against the Packers, and then we'll see how the Packers pass rush improved as we gave away Micah Parsons to them. The Cowboys also made one more signing. It was an offensive lineman, which makes sense, and I'll explain why in a minute. But the Cowboys signed Wesley French to the practice squad. Now, I might have been a mistake there. I think one of our guys we moved from, I think it was, there's a reason why we had an open spot now for Jadeveon Clowney, because one of our guys is on IR. I'll explain that in a minute. And that's one of the reasons why we have Wesley French added to the practice squad. There was an open spot already there. We did not use it for Jadeveon Clowney, my fault. But this Wesley French, offensive lineman, on the practice squad, helping to bolster the offensive line depth. I'll explain why, because we're going to need somebody in there for a while. Brock Hoffman is going to be taking all the snaps at center. So French spent 3 years with the Indianapolis Colts. Of course, we know who was there is Everflus. And he was undrafted from Western Michigan, joining this Cowboys offensive line unit. Now, the reason why we're getting offensive linemen is, even though we celebrated the win against the Giants, even though it was embarrassing to even have to go down to the wire against them and win the way we did. Unfortunately, we had a big loss, and that was Cooper Beebe. Cooper Beebe, our center, guys. And again, very concerning. You see the video if you've seen our short. He was going to the locker room. He needed help. He was kind of smiling and laughing, but it was bad, guys. Again, it was an ankle injury. In the locker room, when they undid his shoe, his ankle had swollen to the size of a man's head. And he had to use crutches to get around. Schottenheimer did not have an update after the game, but we have an update, of course. We all know, unfortunately now, that the Cowboys' fantastic center, Cooper Beebe, and a key part of our very good offensive line so far this year, is now going to miss 6 to 8 weeks with a high ankle sprain. Those are the worst. High ankle sprain. And so that means the Cowboys moved him to IR, which lets us put Jadeveon Clowney on the 53-man roster. And that's how that happened there. But according to all sources, he should be back to 100% by the second half of the season. Still hurts my soul to say that. But then that was the initial report, high ankle sprain. Then we hear more, Todd Archer digging deeper. And he said he's dealing with a lateral, because a high ankle sprain might take you out for like 4 to 6 weeks. He's dealing with a lateral sprain of the ankle is the actual definition. And the lateral sprain of the ankle is pretty bad, but it's also a fracture of a small bone in his foot, which is why it goes from 4 to 6 to 6 to 8. Unfortunately, he can't do anything but wait when it comes to a foot bone fracture. So it's got to wait 6 to 8 weeks till that fracture is healed up. He's acclimated back to football and gets on that field. Figure 8 weeks, guys. Figure when Overshown comes back, he may come back because that's what it's probably going to have to happen. Now, in the meantime, who's going to be in there? Number 67, Brock Hoffman, who's had a lot of snaps and trials and tribulations there at center. He is our backup. His backup will be TJ Bass, and his backup, they've been trying at practice today, Tyler Booker, or yesterday. They tried Tyler Booker as our third string center. Not great. That's one injury there. That's a very unfortunate injury. Another injury we have to talk about here. Again, no Cooper Beebe, which we kind of saw coming with the way he was walking back to his to the locker room. That was not a good look. But then we have another very important injury that we saw happen on the field, and he was holding himself by the neck in the blue tent. It's Cavante Turpin, little man Turpin, guys. Turpin said that his X-rays came out good right after the game. He said that he'll be fine, but his neck is stiff. And right now, at the beginning of the week, he was wearing a neck brace. Not now, but in the beginning of the week, he was wearing a neck brace. He was in good spirits, though. And teammates were like joking and making fun of his neck brace. So I guess that was encouraging, and it was, because later on in the week, Turpin said that his neck is fine. The injury is more in his shoulder, and it feels more like a stinger than it is a neck injury. So it's called the neck injury, but the point is that he expects to play on Sunday. So that's great news. He's going to play against the Bears. Originally, again, he said it happened week 1. And if you look at that video I posted against the Eagles, he got that stinger against the Eagles in his shoulder. And then it kind of resurfaced there when he got hit against, and it was kind of cheap shot there against the Giants there when they landed on top of his head. And he kind of aggravated it on Sunday against the Giants. Turpin said, quote, "It felt good today. I ain't worried about it. I told them if there ain't anything wrong with my neck, if I'm good, if it's just this, I could continue to play through that." So basically, he said, saying he's going to be able to play through a shoulder injury. And when you look at the injury report, and of course, you still have Trayvon Diggs on the injury report there he had an illness. Did not practice on Wednesday, but was full practice on Thursday and Friday. He is good to go. Trayvon Diggs, after all that, had a great first week, not a great second week in communication with the safeties. Had some blown coverages, whether it was his fault or safeties. Either way, he will be 100% to go in this game, which is good news. Tyler Guyton has a shoulder injury. He was limited on Wednesday, but was full practice on Thursday and Friday. He's ready to go as well, so that's good news there. Cavante Turpin, they call it a neck. We know it's more of a shoulder stinger. He was limited on Wednesday, full practice on Thursday, full practice on Friday. He is good to go. So that's great news there. All those 3 guys are good to go and going to play in this upcoming Bears game. The one guy, unfortunately, that's not good to go is a guy we knew already and it hasn't gone last week and got hurt in the first game, was DaRon Bland. DaRon Bland actually got hurt after that first game in practice, tweaked his foot. So he didn't practice all week, and he's ruled out for this game against the Bears. Not surprising, but we knew he was going to. It's official now that he's ruled out against the Bears today. He's missing his second straight game. But again, is it surprising? He didn't practice this week. We knew that. This week, again, he has been working the cords, the resistant cords, in rehab. So the word is a potential next week he could be back. If not next week, figure a week after that. So a couple weeks, basically, is what we're looking at. And then if you want to look at a possible jump up on this thing here, and I say this, and this will be, again, we're trying to get to the point where we get some of our guys back and healthy. When you look at our draft, look at our third, we've seen Tyler Booker. We've seen Donovan Escarazu. We haven't seen Jaden Blue. Shamir James usually inactive. The rest of the guys, we don't see much of them. Jay Toya, probably the most of all those guys. But the one guy is Savon Ravel Jr., cornerback. We want to see him play. He's been injured since last year in college. But it could make his day. He's on a 4-week injury list right now, so he cannot play until week 5. But that's what we're hearing, guys. His debut may come for the Cowboys in week 5. So it looks like he might be back week 5, which is great news. And again, when you look at the, I guess you look at the schedule here. If I can find it for you guys, I'll put it up on the screen there for you. But if you look at the schedule, you'll see that, where is it? There it is. Week 5, we're looking at the Jets game. You can see Shavon Ravel coming back for that Jets game, and that'll be important for our cornerback squad there. which would be great. Now, I also heard DeMarvion Overshown. They're saying maybe October. We heard initially it was going to be November and like Thanksgiving time. I think we're jumping the gun on October, but hey, you never know, I guess. But they're saying somewhere in the midpoint of the year. I'm thinking more ending point, the last third of the season for Overshown. But Siobhan Ravel looks like he's going to be on that field week 5, ready to go. Jerry Jones said that the Cowboys have high expectations for the third rounder, Siobhan Ravel Jr., when he's ready to go. And he said, and basically Jerry Jones said he would have been a top pick in the NFL if he did not get that injury that's keeping him out right now in his senior year. So he says he expects a lot of high expectations from a guy he believes is a top pick in the league. He said, quote, Ravel may be one of the best young corners that I've seen us put on the roster in a long time. That's per Jerry Jones. And he overhyped shit. So let's just chill on Jerry's thoughts on that. But that we do know that Ravel does have some ball hawking abilities, and I think that he may be a guy that can help us in that way. So much love. Jet Lee's in the house. I see you in there. Let me see who else I in here. Skeptical. He's going to be Skeptical. I heard if that's going to be at most he's on a snap count, but I don't expect to play. He'll probably be inactive for this game. Skeptical. I'm going to stay skeptical on that. You know what I mean? So, Skeptical fan said walking out the wild thing would be cool. That's kind of funny. That's major league. That's funny as hell. That's funny. Team Money has a couple things there. Ravel and Bland need to get better. I agree. And Ravel will be back against the Jets, it sounds like. Bland? Well, I wouldn't hold my breath, but they say maybe next week, maybe the week after. Maybe the Jets game would be when they both come back. Who knows? So anyways, I hear you. I'm with Team Money on that there. But Guyton, Guyton almost lost. Yeah. Guyton's good to go. Turpin's good to go. Everyone's good to go but Bland, which we figured. What's up, Jet Lee in the house? Jordan, listen, the thing about Jaden Blue is that the Cowboys have said last week they want more consistency with Jaden Blue. And that means probably don't fumble so much or maybe don't make too many mental errors. Still a rookie. We'll see what happens. But I would love to see Jaden Blue out there. Just I don't know if he's ready to go yet until they make the deal and say, okay, he's not going to be inactive this week. Then I'll say, okay. Until then, till Sunday comes and we see who's inactive, I won't count the chickens on him. I'll be ready when he's in there. Agent Zero, Overshown should be back at Thanksgiving or after. We'll see what happens. I don't want to say anything's easy, Team Money. We'll see. But the Bears game is up next. So let's put the Bears in. Again, I will drop you will have the emojis, those in the membership. We'll have the emojis for the game, for the Bears. We'll have this emoji here. I'll show you what I mean in a minute here. You'll have this one. The fuck the Bears emoji. Just a head on a fucking... just hanging it over our den, over the fireplace. But there's some injuries going on right now with the Bears. So we talked about our injuries. Let's talk about their guys. The Bears have a bunch of injured players. Grady Jarrett, defensive lineman, and Jahadi Walker, receiver, with a knee and ankle respectively. They both were kind of limited and out of practice for a couple days, but they were full today. They are good to go for the game. So they're good to go. They had two questionable guys, and one of them is DeAndre Swift, running back. That's a big player for them. He has a quad issue, limited all week. So we'll see if he plays a full snap count for him. DeMarco Jackson, who's kind of a third-string linebacker. He has a hamstring. He was limited on Wednesday, did not practice on Thursday, and was limited today. He is questionable for the game, and that's just for depth. And they're going to need it because they have another linebacker, TJ Edwards, with a hamstring. Did not practice all week. He is out for this game. An offensive lineman, Kieran Amajadi, an elbow. He was limited and did not practice the rest of the week. He's out for this game, but he's more depth for them. And then come the big three, in my opinion, for the Bears. The big three. And that's the biggest one of all of them is Jalen Johnson with that groin. He's out for this game. And I'm hearing he may be out for the season for the Bears. That's a great player for them. I mean, he may be out for the season, but he's definitely out for this game. I think they put him on IR right now. So Jalen Jones, one of their depth pieces. He is a guy that they are looking to, to maybe have him step into that spot. He's out for this game as well with the hamstring. Jalen Johnson out with the groin. Jalen Jones out with a hamstring. They got two corners there. One depth guy out, and of course their best guy out, and then their best guy to play. One of the better nickel cornerbacks, slot corners in the league, is Kyler Gordon. He has a hamstring, and he is also out for this game. So you know what one of my keys are going to be. But they have two starting cornerbacks out for this game. And then one of the guys is supposed to step up in his place out as well. So they're basically going third stringer, second stringer, and then one first stringer. One starter, basically, on their group of guys there at cornerback. You're looking at their guy. They got Tyreek Stevenson, who has to come in there and play left cornerback. They don't have Jalen Jones. There's no backup to him. He's the only guy at left cornerback. At right cornerback is Nashawn Wright. We all know Nashawn Wright, don't we? We all know him. Can we not pick on Nashawn Wright? That's their number one guy. Are you kidding me? Now it is. Kyler Gordon's out. He's their nickel cornerback. So now you have to have Nick McLeod or Josh Blackwell. McLeod played with the Niners. Blackwell played with the Eagles. They're backups for a reason. Kyler Gordon was their guy. They've dropped off at nickel. So they dropped off there. And basically, their outside corners are trash. And their nickel corner is the backup. So you put CeeDee Lamb in the nickel spot there, in the slot, and you just tear him up with Pickens. I don't know what to say, but it can't be that hard. You just got to be able to block. The center situation is going to be big with Brock Hoffman because they got Montez Sweat on that defensive line. Don't forget, they got Dayo Obuwabo from Indianapolis. He's on the other edge with Grady Jarrett, who's banged up, but he's going to play, and Gervon Dexter Sr. They're going to be going in there and getting a little bit of pass rush. They were hoping with TJ Edwards and other linebackers, Tremaine Edwards, formerly of Buffalo. But now they got to go with rookies Ruben Hippolyte or Noah Sewell take over for Edwards. So they're short on linebacker as well. They don't have much going on there. And like I already talked about the defensive backfield, they're in trouble. They got Jaquan Brisker and Kevin Byard, the third. Good safeties. That's the only thing that's going to help them back there. But their corners are fucking trash. So no excuse for the Cowboys to not be able to pick on their secondary. But I'll talk more about that soon. When you look at the statistics with this Cowboys and Bears matchup, points per game for the Cowboys, we're scoring about 30 right now in 2 weeks of football. We're putting up 127 rushing yards per game, 265.5 passing yards per game. Now, we are -1 on turnover differential, so we turn over the ball one more time than we've gotten the ball overall. When you look at the Bears and their defensive stats, they're allowing almost 40 points, 39.5 points a game. We should be able to put points up on the board. I'm talking about 30 to 40. If it's not raining, it ain't some blizzard, and it shouldn't be in September, in Chicago, we should be putting up fucking 40 points plus on these motherfuckers. There's no excuse. Rushing the ball, we're getting 127. They're allowing 148.5. We're throwing for 265.5. They're allowing 234. So they're a little bit better there, but they're missing their entire secondary. So that should be hurting them a little bit. Although, if you're up a lot on the Bears, you're going to run the ball a lot more, right? Total yards, they give up a total amount of 382 yards per game, which is not horrible, but maybe just teams are running out the clock. While we are when you look at our defense versus their offense, they're putting up only 22.5 points a game. We're unfortunately allowing 30.5 points. So our defense ain't doing great stuff there. We're running the ball for. The Bears are running the ball for. We were running 127. They're running for 126.5 yards. Basically, same type of running attack they got as far as yardage. We allow about 121 rushing yards a game, which is not great, obviously. But to the main guys for the Giants, I think they got 60 yards total rushing, and for Saquon, he got 60 yards rushing. So not bad for the Cowboy run defense with Kenny Clark leading the way there. Passing-wise, the Bears only throwing for 201.5 yards a game. The Cowboys are allowing 283 yards a game. And the Bears, they're -2 in turnover differential, so they're giving up the ball more, even more than we are. Then they're getting the ball as well. So when you look at our total yards, our defense, and what do we give up? We give up over 400 yards, 404 yards a game right now. Not good. Cannot allow that. You saw what happened against the Giants. We let a lot of yards on that field, and that cannot happen again. Now, what about the referees? Let's do a ref check. I got your little cheat sheet here, guys, on our referee crew here. The Cowboys are getting officiated by the crew of Clay Martin. All right? So the Cowboys are 5-0. All right? And when you look at the spread, we're 4-1, but we're 5-0 on the road when we are in games officiated by this Clay Martin. His crew is ranked number 1 in offensive holding. They call all the offensive holding calls in 2024. So that and the combination of false starts and offensive holding accounted for 48% of their overall penalties, guys. 48%. The league average, 38.7%. So that's not a good sign for the Cowboys there. If we're going to be holding, if there's a lot of holding going on, if they're holding our pass rush, then throw them flags. The Bears' offense, they rank number 1 for offensive penalties per game. So they hold a lot currently without having the officiating crew that throws the most penalties for offensive holding. But they already are number 1 in the NFL for offensive holding penalties per game. They're ranked number 1 for pre-snap penalties per game. Caleb Williams, the quarterback for the Bears, pre-snap issues he's had in 2024, continuing this year so far in the first 2 games in 2025. The Cowboys' offense, we rank number 1, knock on wood, currently, on being beneficial on automatic first downs via penalties. Or via penalties. Either way, we get we're number 1 in getting automatic first downs off penalties. We're creating penalties. And a lot of that has to do with George Pickens. What does that mean, though? CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, they are, as number 1 receivers, they are the best beneficiaries right now against the defensive passing defense of the Bears that's broken down, that's hurt, that's second and third string filled, and are going to have a lot of defensive pass interference penalties. So what the Cowboys should do, and you're going to see some pass interference going on, Cowboys got to cause that. We're number 1 at that with our receivers. So that these guys are going to throw a lot of holding calls. They're going to hold our offensive guys. That's a holding call. I know they usually call on the offensive line side, but you can't miss when Pickens getting dragged down to the ground. So this is a chance to have these blind refs see that. Use CD, use Pickens, and attack deep against a very undermanned secondary. Now you got to watch the safeties. You got to pick the right side, Dak. As long as you pick the right side, set up a one-on-one, we can get a lot of penalties, a lot of automatic first downs to continue the streak of CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Co-rank right now as number 1 receivers, pulling penalties out of referees. So, you look at Matt Eberflus returning to Chicago. He was a former head coach there last year. He has a lot of knowledge on Caleb Williams' weaknesses, and it gives the Cowboys a slight edge and advantage on Sunday, I would say. Based on last week, the Cowboys defense needs all the help we can get. But if you're outside looking in, it looks like a lot of positive stuff from the Cowboys. Dak is playing, again, we talked about this, Dak's playing well. Mainly mistake-free football, knock on wood. Both star receivers are being used in the coaching plans and being fed the ball by Dak, producing big plays or causing penalties. And you look at the other side of the ball with the Bears, it feels like it's a strange situation when it comes to the Bears' new coach, former Eagles. Isn't it Eagles or is it Lions? I think it's Lions offensive coordinator, but Ben Johnson, now the Chicago Bears coach. Caleb, in the Caleb Williams kind of situation, not as smooth. Definitely not as smooth as Shoddy and Dak. So we'll see what happens. Should be a good game. Now, if Chicago cannot get 27 points against the Cowboy defense, they're going to lose the game. I mean, if they get 30 points, they still might lose the game. But if the Bears cannot reach at least 27, Cowboys win this game. They're going to win 28, 27 or worse. So the Cowboys win this game even if they get 27 points, in my humble opinion. The Cowboys offense is one of the best units on the field offensively, even with this Cooper Beebe being gone. Got a lot of great offensive linemen that are going to help him. So I just think we'll outlast the Bears based on that. Throw in the penalties in there too. I think we have a lot of things to be positive about. You want to think positive? I'm usually not positive, but let's be a little positive here. Cowboys offense. We've scored 14 points per game in the second half of the season, usually 5th best in the NFL. The Bears defense have allowed 23 points per game during the second half of the season. So that's the worst in the NFL. Cowboys have to take advantage of scoring points in the second half of this. In the second half, of the season. Second half of the game. That's the 5th best in the NFL. So we are able to average that in the second half of games. They are allowing 23 points in the second half of games. We need to take advantage of that. If we're not putting them away early, we definitely got to put them away late. If you look at over the last 5 quarters of the Bears defense and we think our defense is bad, the last 5 quarters of the Bears, so the last game and quarter of the Bears, they've given up 73 points and 694 yards in those 5 quarters. That's a lot. So we got to attack them and get at those points, get those yards, and continue this ability to run over this defense. Now, they're missing their corners. Attack properly. They got a good defensive line. They really are weak at linebacker, so you know where you can attack outside. See with the safeties, if there's one safety there, they gotta box it up. They got one safety, pick the side that the safety don't go to, and throw it up to Pickens, get the penalty. I'm just saying it's pretty simple here. I can figure it out just in the sand, drawing it up. So Cowboys offense, we've scored 5 touchdowns in the red zone this season. That's third most in the NFL. The Bears defense have allowed 8 touchdowns in the red zone this season on defense, which is the worst in the NFL. So third best versus the worst. We get to the red zone, we're scoring touchdowns. That's what it should be. Javonte Williams, running back, has rushed for 151 yards, like I said, this year. It's 7th best running back in the NFL, 7th most yards rushing in the NFL. The Bears defense, like I said, are allowing 148 yards per game. That is the 6th worst in the NFL. We're allowing 121. At least it's out of the bottom 10. They're 6th worst at stopping the run. Javonte Williams, little Miles Sanders. Do we see some Jaden Blue? Run that ball against this Bears defense. Soften them up. Make them bring in 8. Stack the box. Now you got one safety, and you got Pickens and CeeDee Lamb to pick them apart. It's just 1 + 1 = 2. That's the way I'm looking at this. Cowboys offense so far this year in 2 games, 59 receptions. That's the most in the NFL. The Bears defense, they're allowing almost 10 yards per catch, 9.9 yards per catch. That's the worst in the NFL. If we throw the ball 30 times, I don't want to, but if we throw the ball 20 times, that's 200 yards passing right there. Boom, easy, no matter what. That's at the very least. That's the average. So we got a lot to be positive about there. Dak Prescott has 549 passing yards this year. Talk about Javonte Williams being 7th best rusher. Dak, yardage-wise, the 4th best quarterback when it comes to passing yards, 549 yards. The Bears defense have allowed 468 passing yards so far this year. That's 9th most in the NFL, and that was with Jalen Johnson being back there. That's with their best corners being back. Now they don't have them either. 9th most allowed. That's probably more like 3rd most allowed when you take those guys out. The Cowboys must attack, and that's where I'm leading us to these keys to victory and a little preview of what we need to do to win this game and beat the fucking Chicago Bears. In Chicago, it's not that hard to figure out. The Cowboy receivers versus the Bears banged up secondary. The Bears are going to be without Jalen Johnson. They're going to be without a couple other depth guys there. They're missing their nickel cornerback. That leaves Tyreek Stevenson and Cowboys' former draft pick from Quinn there, Nashawn Wright. Those are their outside receivers. They have no slot guy there, unless they're the old McLeod there from San Francisco or whatever his name is from the Eagles. These are just 3rd and 4th stringers at nickel slot corner, which is where CeeDee Lamb eats. So again, when you look at this here, this is a matchup that will favor the Cowboys. Whether it's anybody versus Tyreek Stevenson, whether it's anybody versus Nashawn Wright, whether it's anybody versus whoever's in the fucking slot covering whoever's in our slot for us, whether it's CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Cavante Turpin, who should be playing, any of the other guys, Tolbert and beyond, Flournoy, Cowboy playmakers should be able to take advantage of the Bears' very thin cornerback secondary. Dak Prescott should be able to spread the ball around to these guys and shred their fucking defense. Specifically through the air. We should be able to run on them, but through the air, we should also be able to do that now. And again, if Javonte Williams can run the ball, it's going to be easy pickings, for no pun intended, maybe pun intended there, for the Dallas Cowboy offense to be able to get the points they need to win this game. And if you look at the Bears this year, the Bears defense, analytically, are giving up the quote-unquote perfect passer rating in 2 games total. They're giving up perfect passer ratings on throws to the middle of the field. If you are throwing against the Bears defense and you throw to the middle of the field, it is a completion. And a successful one. So we're looking at 158.3 as your analytical passer rating if you throw to the middle of the field against the Chicago Bears. So you want to know what my keys are: attack. You got to run the ball. You got to run the ball against them and soften them up for the pass. But when you pass, hit the middle of the field when they're helping out their corners, when the safeties are helping out the corners. Hit the middle. Hit some Jake Ferguson. Hit some Turpin. Hit some CeeDee Lamb in the slot. Hit some Pickens coming in a slant in. Whatever it takes, use the middle of that field, and that's their soft spot there. Once you're able to loosen them up and run up the middle, then You know what I'm saying? You can also go deep to the corners when they start to bring people in, when the safeties start to come up to the box. You go deep, Pickens one-on-one, create the penalty, get the touchdown, get the big play. That's what you do for the Cowboys. Pretty simple on offense for the Cowboys. I don't stop at the offense because Javonte Williams is part of this thing, and against the Bears' run defense, they're a good pass rush defense and not great against the run. One of the biggest. I'll say this. Javonte Williams, one of the biggest surprises for the Cowboys overall, is being successful here, playing through the first 2 weeks of the season, being the 7th best running back in the league. No one really expected that. Although I do like him overall, I didn't think he'd be the 7th best running back after 2 weeks in the league. He's the Cowboys' official number one running back, and again, like I said, a top 10 running back in the league right now. And this 3-week matchup against the Bears is one that he's probably looking forward to, and the whole Bears running attack is looking forward to. The Bears, like I said, are the 3rd worst rushing attack team, 148.5 rushing yards allowed per game. It's great news for the Cowboys, and I would love to see what Javonte Williams can do with them. Of course, we know we get Miles Sanders going to have some opportunities to have a game here, but I want to see Jaden Blue get some attempts. Let's say at the rookie some attempts. Just don't fucking fumble, Jaden Blue, or you're out of there. So we'll see if he's active or not, Jaden Blue, against his Bears' shitty run defense. And the last but not least, our defense versus their offense. And Caleb Williams, which is really their star guy. Listen, you look at their offense, and yes, Caleb Williams is the guy, the quarterback, number 18. They got DeAndre Swift, who's a good running back, getting a little older, but he's questionable for this game. Let's see if he plays. If he does not play, it's going to be rookie Kyle Monagai or Rashawn Johnson. They're in trouble with the run game for the Bears, if that's who they have to go with. At tight end, they got Cole Kmet, decent player, good player. You know, Murray's going to have to keep an eye on him. Sanders going to have to keep an eye on him. Those guys have to be watched. And then you look at the receivers. They got Rome Odunze, a good rookie, a good second-year guy. They got DJ Moore, formerly of the Panthers. They got in the slot. They have Olamide, Zacchaeus, formerly of the Washington Commanders. Again, average to be below average guys. Some guys are rookies. I know Rome is good, but Moore is good. But are they all great yet? There's no excuses. They're not connecting right. Offensive scheme's not working right. Hopefully they don't get it working against us. Offensive line for them, Drew Dahlman at center. Joe Thuney at their left guard, who's a strong guy. He's a good player for them. The other guard is Jonah Jackson. Then they got Darnell Wright at right tackle and Braxton Jones at left tackle. Decent offensive line. But, you know, and you say, well, we should be able – we don't have Micah anymore. So that could be an issue there. And that's why I say if we cannot get any pressure on Caleb Williams, we're not going to have – I doubt we get any Jadeveon Clowney. If we do, I don't know if we get much of him. It might be a snap count situation. If he plays at all. If he does play, it might not be very good. So Cowboys secondary versus Caleb Williams, that may be the key to our defense stopping them or slowing them down. Listen, you just watched Russell Wilson throw for 450 yards against our Cowboys and 3 touchdowns. So Caleb Williams is probably licking his chops for this game here. Still, they're searching for their first win. Chicago is going to take note of the Cowboys' surprisingly poor pass defense this past week against the Giants to kind of replicate the same kind of success for them. The Bears have some weapons in their passing game, like I went through here, but Caleb Williams, he's only averaging a little over 200 total passing yards per game this year. Again, it's only 2 games. He's probably got like 405 yards passing, but the point is, it's going to be interesting if things change for him this week with no Deron Bland for the Cowboys with that foot injury. What are the Cowboys going to do? We're going to get a pass rush. What about Mozzie? Is Mozzie Smith going to play? You know, owner and GM Jerry Jones said this about defensive tackle Mozzie Smith. On 105 through the Fan, he said this. Again, made inactive for the first 2 weeks of the season. Will he be inactive again? You tell me what you think. Jerry Jones said, quote, "We just need Mozzie to get him where he gets his results and making plays, meaning his agility, his strength, and his athleticism," end quote. Are you tired? So basically, we need a guy who gets better in every facet of the game. We have a live bust in front of us here, is what Jerry Jones is saying on Mozzie Smith. So I expect Mozzie Smith to be inactive next time you see us, and we'll be live with the game here at 4:30 Eastern Time, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. So I expect Mozzie Smith to be inactive and Jaden Blue hopefully to be active for this game. That's knocking on wood right there. As far as the game is concerned, I expect the Cowboys to put over 30 points up on this Bears team. I expect the Cowboys to hold this Bears team to under 30 points. So you want to ask me what the score is going to be? 35, 38, Cowboys. Bears, 20, 21, 24 at most. Should it be more? Could be more. Could it be 30? Sure. Cowboys better win. That's all I'm saying. And our offense better score whatever is needed. Even if the Cowboys defense allows 37 points like the Giants did, Cowboys better get 40. You better get 38 or more against this Bears shitty defense. That's all I'm saying, and that's what I'm going to keep it at that. I think I went over all the news, info, and updates, guys. Our depth chart right now, we know who we're going to see. We know what they're going to be doing. We talked about the Bears side of things. We talked about it all. Let me talk to you guys real quick and see what you all are saying about the Cowboys and about the stream as we say goodnight here on My Cowboys Family. Let me go back a little bit. Jet Li in the house. Burn Bar in the house. Yeah, the Bears are really bad right now. I will admit. Thank you, Burn, for that. Even though no one dropped the love. We had Skeptical drop a little love. Thank you, Skeptical. Week 5 is an easy dub, said Team Money. I'm hopeful. I'm hoping that. Will it be that? I thought it was going to be that against the Giants, right? And it was a struggle all the way to the very bitter end. And then we got lucky and won because of the leg of the man, Brett Maher. No, just joking, not Maher. Maher, actually, like I said, guys, Maher, you can see that it's tied now with Brett with Brandon Aubrey for the most kicks of 60 yards or more. So get ready for Brandon Aubrey to break that Maharati record there soon, hopefully sooner than later. So, anyways, guys, on that note, let me see the last couple comments here in the chat. Team Money, Hoffman will be great in BB's absence. I hope. Cooper, we need Cooper back in here. Jet Li in the house, much love. Burn Bar, much love. Team Money, let me see who else is in here. Blue Raptors, what are you doing here? Hey, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, man. You have to troll. This is Cowboy Talk, brother. This is Cowboy Talk. People watching the replay. Tony A said, what's MCF, all those stats? No, I agree 100%. I'm just telling you what the guide of stats tells us, Tony. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying these are the things the way they should happen. When they're losing players that are starters for a reason, and then they have to have backups and third stringers come in, there's no excuse for us. I think they could play up to this situation. But, I see Burn Bar. Hey, it used to be every day Burn Bar. It's got to be me all the time. I can't do it. And when I go live, and I really can do it, if I can do it every night, I go live at 3 a.m. here. But no one's going to be watching. Instead of being 20 people, it'll be 2 people. So it'll be a lot less people watching the 3 o'clock showing, the 4 o'clock showing of My Cowboys Family. So we have the After Dark for that. But yeah, I know the wife has her eyes. She hasn't blinked yet, has she? Anyways, yeah, listen, the Bears know what parts to attack, but we do too. And that's the thing. I think we know where to attack Caleb and in their offense with Everfluss knowing what we do with them. So, anyways, Blue, this is not a trash talking channel. This is a football talking channel. That's why. So let me see. Bears are starting 0-5. Says Team Money. Jet Li says we're only 1.5 favorite against them in Soldier Field. And Jet Li, that's we should be. I think we should be a more favorite than that, but we are on the field. That's 3 point. We're on their home turf. Technically, we're up by 4.5. Is the point spread when you look at home field advantage? So I guess it makes sense. But all right, we'll see what happens. Azteca said the Bears want them draft picks next year. Yeah, I think that the offense should put us in front enough, Team Money. But we said that against the Giants, and we took it too easy in the beginning of that game. You know what I mean? Blue Raptor. Thank you, Junior Coltrane, for all the love. Scorpio in the house. Clowney was arrested. I talked about that already, Scorpio. Clowney's arrest was for bullshit reasons. He was detained for 20 minutes and then given a ticket or something. He'll be fine. He's not playing this game, though. I don't think he's playing this game. Team Money said there's a chance that he won't play. Jamal Burton said he'll play. What I'm hearing is that when Stephen Jones says, we'll see if it's a game time decision, we're leaning to the fact that he's not going to play. Usually that means he's definitely not playing when it comes to Stephen Jones. He said that today. So I'm going to go with Stephen Jones over our hopes I like to see Jadeveon Clowney play, but he's not. I say next week against Micah Parsons and the Green Bay Packers, you'll see him play. That's my opinion. Scorpio here. It's not. It's more about him not being ready than it is about any charges being done there. He'll be fine. He's not going to get suspended or nothing for his thing. The Scorpio said trespassing. It's not going to be. It's not a big deal. Is the point. Stuffy nosed MCF. Oh, Blue Raptor. I'm gonna be busy working after this, but no MCF after dark tonight. I'm gonna do that tomorrow night on After Dark on Saturday night, and then we have game day right here. My Cowboys family against the Bears. 4:25 is kickoff Eastern time. 3:25 Dallas Cowboy time. But we will be live about 30 minutes, hopefully about 15 to 30 minutes earlier than that. Yeah, we'll see. I know we have struggled against them, Jet Li and Soldier Field, but hopefully this time we get the best of them. We should, for sure. I'm not overlooking it. I'm just saying the way we played, the offensive weapons, their injuries they got, no excuses. So at least win this game by 7 to 10 points, in my opinion, with the offense that we're able to put up against a defense that's hurt, which is the Bears' defense. So we'll see what happens. Let's see here. Tyreek Hill, I don't understand. Tyreek Hill is crazy, and he's still out there, but no one wants to draft him. They're scared. Dak looking at his chops, he is. Yep, we talked about that, Jet Li, about Clowney. You guys can rewatch that there. We'll talk about it later. The ankle sprain was bad. Out 6 to 8 weeks, not great, but we got Brock Hoffman starting, TJ Bass backup, and today we were trying yesterday, Tyler Booker as our third string center. Not great news there. Jamal Burton said 37-17. 37-38 is about I see the Cowboys scoring there. 17 to 24 for the Bears, somewhere in that range. I'll take 37-17 for sure. Team Money said 45-13, America's team. That's true, Scorpio. They didn't hear about the fracture. It wasn't just a sprain. It was a sprain it was a lateral ankle sprain and I guess microscopic, but basically a foot fracture, a small bone foot fracture, which puts it at 6 to 8 weeks. So there you go. So I'll make sure that I know. Team Money. Oh, that he hit all the goalposts every single time. He hit like 4 times in a row. Team Money, right? Not even if you try to do that, you can do that. That shit's funny. Kind of like Blue Raptor laughing right now. Don't blink. She will win. Remember that. Stephen Jones driving me crazy too. But I'm just telling you what he says. We got to go by what we know the patterns are. Stephen Jones saying it. If he says a chance he plays game time decision, but he's probably leaning to no, that means Stephen Jones saying fuck no. If he said he might play, that means probably not going to play. If he says he's probably not going to play, that means fuck no, he's not playing. you got to push it down a little bit. They always give you the best news, but it's never going to turn out that way. So you know how that goes. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Can't trust what the family Jones said. The Jones family says Scorpio. Well, I agree with that. Whenever going by past things, when they say things like this, it always comes out this way or worse. They say, "Oh, this guy's gonna be back in 2 weeks." He comes back in 6 weeks. So don't get your hopes high. But if it happens, great. If we see Jadeveon Clowney, I would love to see him number 42 rushing the passer. We'll see what happens. I don't like Steven either. T Money said Micah has to want to be paid. My ass. I bet that was the last trade. Again, listen. I don't know what the thing went down, but Jerry Jones screwed it up by not doing the deal the right way from the beginning, as an owner should. He thinks his shit don't smell. It's Jerry Jones and ruined the situation. But then, hey, we'll see what happens to draft picks. All we can do is hope Frank Clark this year, next year, and the draft picks for the next 2 years work out for us. The 4 draft picks in the first round. Two first round picks in next year's first round and 2 first round picks in 2027's first round. Talk Cowboys in the house. Chess piece maybe. We'll see. But I would love to see. I think that's going to be a bigger I think that's going to be where he plays. I think where Clowney's going to play is against Jordan Love and the Packers. Blue Raptor. I did a lot more after dark than my Cowboys family so far this year. So, but this is football season, brother. Football season gets the is going to get a lot of my time too. So that's what we do this. Number 2 with the most cap space. That's right. We have $40 to $41 million in cap space. Cowboys ain't spending too much of it. What's up, Jet Lee? Peace out to everybody. Scorpio, Team Money. We'll see what happens. Appreciate you all. We'll be back for the game day. Week 3, Dallas Cowboys at the Chicago Bears. 4:25 p.m. Eastern time kickoff. Adjust your clocks for your time zone accordingly. We'll be live probably around 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, 2 Mountain, 1 West Coast. But we'll be back for the game day with the camera, the lights, the action, and the reactions from myself and the wife talking about our Dallas Cowboys against these Bears. Can we go 2-1? I think we can. Let's get it. Thank you, Skeptical Fan. The only drop of the night. I appreciate you, man. It's not about the drop. It's about the information, the back and forth. Appreciate everybody in the membership. We'll have those Chicago Bears emojis ready to roll that you can drop them throughout the game when the haters come. And we'll go from there. Even you, Blue Raptor. Even you, Junior Coltrane. Peace out. Team Money, Jamal Burton, much love. He's in the house. Jamal Burton, Scorpio, Chris, Plumage, go Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Let's do this. And take care, everybody. Seriously, stay safe. Much love. And you know why we do this here on My Cowboys Family. Each and every year for 9 seasons, 8 years on YouTube. It's about that navy blue, that silver too, and that beautiful star over everything. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly, here on My Cowboys Family, we always rep that star over everything. And like I said, over 8 years on YouTube, into our 9th season of NFL football game day reactions and news, info, and updates right here on YouTube, and right here in My Cowboys Family. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys! Can we try to get that 6 and beyond, please? How about we start with 2 wins and 6 Super Bowls in the next couple of years? Can we get that? Anyways, let's go Cowboys. You know, let's go. Much love to you guys in the chat. I'm not telling anyone, Blue Raptor. You're good. Everybody in the chat, appreciate you all. Scorpio, Team Money, Chris Plumage, Jamal Burton, Junior, and everybody else. If I'm Burn Bar, Jet Li, Talk Cowboys, on and on. We'll see you back here for the game day. Stay safe, and thank you for dropping your knowledge in the chat. Thank you for dropping Skeptical Fan. Always staying skeptical in second place on the overall board. Thank you. And first place on the gifting board. Thank you for dropping the love from above, and everybody else in the house, thank you for dropping in. But now it is time for me and the wife here, the non-blinking wife, to drop out and clock out for the night, relock and reload for the game day on Sunday afternoon. So join us soon for that. It'll be a lot of fun, as it always is. On that note, guys, take care, peace out, and never forget the number one thing here, My Cowboys Family, before we can drop out for the night. As the wife always says, what we gotta do before we drop out of here for the night? We gotta drop the beat. Oh yeah. A little pre-drop there. Thank you guys for rocking with us here. We're peacing out. Peace. And hey, knock that in there for that game winner. Time to knock the Bears head on the wall over the fireplace in the den. And let Jerry the Clown do his clown show. Well, we need to win games. The Dallas Cowboys need to win some games. And the Bears are next. That's my hope. You heard what I said. Thank you all for watching. Hit the like and all that good stuff here on MCF, where it's about that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. Never do forget the number one thing here at My Cowboys Family is you guys. Keeping it rolling and rocking here on the weekly, monthly, yearly, almost decadely. Never forget the number one thing here, guys. You guys, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and hit the notification bell to all videos. We'll see you on the live stream right around the corner for the reaction game day style Sunday afternoon. Follow us on all the different social media at My Cowboys Family, Twitter, all that stuff. Discord, go in there, check it out. Information in the description down below. Drop down some comments if you're watching this in the replay. Hit the like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Guys, stay safe. We'll see you on Sunday, and never ever forget, go Cowboys!